Hi guys, Ms. Berg again. Now we're going to be doing 11.9, which is applying the volume formula, which is something that we've already been doing. So there's really nothing new to talk about. So I'm just going to get right on into it. So I am going to flip this around and we're going to start right on in. So it says both prisms show the same dimensions and have the same volume. So they're just showing that this one, it was all written out with like 3 is showing each layer. Well, they're also just going to show it to you like this. So they want you to know that it's still the same thing. They're giving you your dimensions. Just make sure that you are multiplying those dimensions to get the volume still. So nothing really too new. So Mike is making a box to hold his favorite DVDs. The length of the box is 7 inches. The width is 5 inches and the height is 3 inches. What is the volume of the box that Mike is making? So it's already telling you, you can use the volume, the formula of volume to find the volume of this rectangular prism. So the volume is length times width times height. So they're just saying, all right, now plug in those numbers. And it told you up here, the length is 7, the width is 5, and the height is 3. And they're saying that then you could just multiply. Now, again, they're telling you that you got to multiply first the length by the width. Now, keep in mind that these are all, since you're all timesing these, remember the commutative property of multiplication, remember you can switch the numbers around and it's really not going to do anything because we're all multiplying here. So keep in mind that you don't just have to do 7 times 5 first. You could do 3 times 5 and then times it by 7 if as well, because these are all going to get you the same answer in the long run. But let's just keep doing what they're saying. Do the length and the width, which is that bottom shape, which is 35. And then you would do 35 times your height, which is 3. So to figure out what 35 times 3 is, I'm going to do that off to the side. This would be 15, carry your 1. This is 9 plus 1 is 10. So that would be 105. So this would be 105 cubic inches. All right, next. You have learned that one formula for finding the volume of a rectangular prism. You can also use another formula. So the volume is the base area times height, or volume is big B times H. Again, big B stands for area of that base shape, which means the bottom shape, and H is the height of your solid figure. So they're telling you can, again, use the exact same thing using both of these formulas. So use the area of the base shape and height. So Emilio's family has a sandcastle kit. The kit includes molds of several solid figures that can be used to make sandcastles. One of the molds of the rectangular prism, like the one shown at the right, how much sand will it take to fill in that mold? So it's saying replace the B with an expression for the area of the base shape. Again, that means bottom shape. And then replace the H with the height of this and then multiply. So the bottom shape, the 2 numbers that are there are 4 and 5. So 5 inches by 4 inches. And then how high is it? Is 8 inches. So then 5 times 4 is 20 times 8. So 20 times 8, 0 times 8 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16. So therefore, this would be 160 cubic inches. So it would take 160 cubic inches of sand to fill up that rectangular prism mold. So again, we are going to do some more of this. So still doing the exact same thing. Again, you can switch these numbers around if you see something that might be easier, because we are all multiplying here. So they're saying do the length, which is 7, by 4, by the height is 5. So in this case, I want to show you this. I think 5 times 4, I know what that is. It's so much easier than doing 7 times 4 right away. So I am actually going to multiply these first, because remember, commutative property of multiplication says that I can do the multiplication any direction, and it's still going to get me the right answer. So 5 times 4 is 20, and then 20 times 7. So you guys could do this too. Keep that in mind. So 7 times 0 is 0, and then 7 times 2 is 14. So your answer is 140 cubic feet. All right, so now this one says find the unknown measurement. All right, here's the issue. Remember, it is volume equals length times width times height. Well, here they're telling you what the volume is. So the volume is 60, so they plug that number in. Then they don't know the height. That is what is unknown. So then we got to figure out what is missing here. So we're going to plug in these two numbers. So we got 5 and 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Then times what will give us 60. Now, what you could do is, some of you sorry guys, had a bit of a mix up here. Some of you could be saying, oh, we could just work backwards here. And that is what I really want you to see, that yes, you could be working backwards here. Instead of doing a multiplication problem, you could work backwards and do a division problem. So to figure out this number, so you could have done 60 divided by 20 will give you your unknown number. So if you did this, how many 20s go into 60? 3. So your answer is 3 centimeters. All right, next. We are now going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to again say the volume equals length times width times height. So again, I'm just going to be plugging in these numbers. So this would be a 2 by 4 by 5. Now again, I said it might be easier for some of you to know certain ones. So I'm just going to do 5 times 4 first in this case, and that would be 20. 20 times 2 is 40. So your answer is 40, but do not just leave your answer like this, because I have to mark it half wrong if you write it like this. Do remember you need to put your units down. So this, you could have said feet to the 3rd power, which means feet cubed, or you could have said 40 cubic feet. Make sure you are doing one of these two on every single one. All right, next. In this case, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Volume equals length times width times height. You can plug in the numbers. 4 times 4 times 9 in this case. So what is 4 times 4 would be 16 times 9. So up here, 16 times 9. 9 times 6 is 54, carry your 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So your answer is 144. And then centimeters times centimeters times centimeters would be centimeters cubed. All right, so I want you to try 3 and 4 on your own. So please pause the video and try these ones on your own. All right, so you should have tried these on your own. So let's see if you are correct. If you did this, it would have been 6 times 6 is 36 times 6, which would be 216 inches cubed, or you could have said 216 cubic inches in this case. Next, on this one, you should have done 12 times 4 times 4, which you could have said was 48 times 4, which is 192. So you could have said 192 feet cubed, or you could have said 192 cubic feet, whatever way you would like. All right, so next we're going to go into the next part. It says Cheryl has a box that is the shape of a rectangular prism. Its height is twice the length. Its length is 3 times the width. The width is 6 inches. What is the volume of this box? All right, so let's talk about this. It says that she has a box. So I'm just going to just quickly make a box here so that I can kind of see what is going on. All right, so here is my box. Now it says that it gives us the height is twice the length. So the height means you would take the length and you times it by 2 to get that height. Now it says to get the length, so the length in this case is the length is 3 times the width. So then in order to find this, you would have to do the width then times 3. And then it tells us what the width is. The width going backward is 6. So now it wants to know what is the volume of this box. So in this case, this is 6 is the width. So remember length times width times height. We already know what the width is. The width came out to be 6. Now we have to figure out the length. Again, the length was taking the width, which we know is 6, and times it by 3. What is 6 times 3? That is 18. So this is going to be 18. And now we have to do the height. Well, in order to do the height, I would have to take my length. Well, what is the length? That is 18, and times it by 2. 18 times 2, that would be 16, carry your 1. This is 36. So this one would be 36. So in order to do this, I could just multiply all these numbers. So let's go ahead and work on doing that. So first thing I should do is 18 times 6. That would be 48, carry your 4. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So that would be 108, then timesing it by 36. So 108 times 36 is next. All right, so now we got to do 108 times 36. So 8 times 6 is 48, carry your 4. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. 6 times 1 is 6. Okay, and then you are done with that one. So you bring it on down, cross out any remainders, and then you move on to the 3. 3 times 8 is 24, carry your 2. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 0 plus 2 is 2, and then 3 times 1 is 3. So then you add, this would be 8, 8, 8, and 3. So therefore your answer would be 3,888. Then we're going to talk about what we're talking about. We're talking about inches. So this would be inches cubed or cubic inches. All right, next we are going to do these. Now this one is telling us what the volume is, and they're giving us the length and the width, but we don't know the height. So in this case, we are actually going to have to use our volume equals length times width times height formula. So it's telling us what our volume is. So our volume is actually going to be 420 equals, and then length times width is down here. So length times width times the height is unknown. So I'm going to use my H as my unknown variable. All right, so now what I could do is figure out what this comes out to be so far. So 6 times 7 is 42 times H is going to give me 420. So in order to do this, there are two things that I could do. I could do, okay, well, what is 42 times what will give me 420? Or if you want, you could also work backwards and do a division problem here. 420 divided by 42 will give you that as well. So anyway, if you do divide this out, it does, I'm going to do that right now. 42 into 420. 42 can go into 4, no, but it can go into 42 one time. That comes out to be 0. Check it. We are good. So we're going to bring down our next number. How many 42s go into 0? That goes in 0 times. You have to put that 0 up there. And then you subtract it out, and your answer is 10. So therefore, the height had to be 10 here. All right, next one. In this one, again, volume equals length times width times height. So the volume is 900 equals 6 times 15 times the height. So in this case, this comes out to be 90 if you multiply it. This is still 900 times H. So we have 90. So therefore we need one more 0. So in that case, what is missing, and you could have divided this out to figure it out. Again, what is missing is the H needed to be 10, because 10 times 90 is 900. All right, next one. All right, it says the Jade restaurant has a large aquarium on a display in the lobby. The base of the aquarium is 5 feet by 2 feet. The height of the aquarium is 4 feet. How many cubic feet of water are needed to completely fill up this aquarium? All right, so you guys could use, it says the base of that aquarium is 5 feet by 2 feet. So in this case, they are using big B times H. They're telling you, hey, it is 5 by 2. And then times the height is 4 feet. So in order to do this, I could do this first. 5 times 2 is 10, times 4 is 40. And then we're talking about feet, so that would be feet to the third power, or you could have also said 40 cubic feet. All right, it says the Pearl restaurant has a large aquarium in its lobby. The base of the aquarium is 6 feet by 3 feet, and the height is 4 feet. So how many more cubic feet of water does the Pearl restaurant aquarium hold than the Jade restaurant? So in this case, now we need to talk about the Pearl. So this one was the Jade. So we're going to compare them later, but now let's worry about Pearl restaurant. It's telling us that the base is big B times H. The base is 6 by 3, and then the height is 4. So in order to do this, I could do 6 times 3 is 18 times 4. Well, 18 times 4, 4 times 8 is 32, carry your 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So this comes out to be 72 cubic feet for the Pearl restaurant. Now the question is, how many cubic feet of water does the Pearl restaurant hold? How much more does the Pearl restaurant hold than the Jade? That is the question. So let's go ahead. How do we figure out how much more this holds than this? Well, you should be subtracting these two. So 2 minus 0 is 2, 7 minus 4 is 3. So your answer would be 32 cubic feet more. All right, next one. It says Eddie measured his aquarium using a small fish food box. The box has the base area of 6 square inches and a height of 4 inches. Eddie found that the volume of his aquarium is 3,456 cubic inches. How many boxes of fish food can he fit in this aquarium? All right, so they're saying that he measured his aquarium using small fish box food. So this is what the boxes were. The box has a base area. So it already told you the big B. The big B, because it's already in square units, is 6. So this is per box. And the one box is 6 by how many high? That would be 4. So that would be 24 cubic inches for each one. Then it said the volume of this came out to be 3,456 cubic inches. So how many of these does it take to fill up this? So in order to do this, what I need to do is I should be dividing how many 24s will go into this number to get what is the answer, because it's asking how many boxes of this fish food can be fit into this aquarium. So in this case, I need to go ahead and divide. 24 can go into 3. No. How about into 34? Yes, that is once. When I subtract, that'd be 10. Check it. I am good. Bring down my 5. How many 24s will go into 105? I'm going to try 4 times. That would be 16, carry your 1. This would be 8, 9. Yeah, 96. You're not going to get any closer than that going by 24s. So 5 minus 6, you can't do. So you have to come all the way over here to borrow. This is now a 10, which now I'm going to take 1 and give it up to here. Now this is going to become a 9. So 15 minus 6 is 9. And then 9 minus 9 is nothing. So it's just 9 so far. Check it. We are good. So bring down your 6. How many 24s go into 96? Well, we already did that over here. It is 4. And then that is nothing remaining. So therefore, they need 144 boxes of fish food to fill that aquarium. Okay. And then the next one, I want you guys to try this one on your own as well. You are going to make up the formula, and then you are going to use that same formula to find the volume of what this is going to come out to be. So please pause this and try this on your own. All right, so what you should have done is you should have said the formula should have been V equals, and then you could have plugged these numbers in, 15 times 10 times 7. And if you did that correctly, it would have been 150 times 7, which is 1,050. Okay, so here we're going to get to your homework. Your homework is, don't forget, you could use one of these 2 formulas. It is length times width times height, or you can just use your big B times H. Again, the big B, that bottom shape, in this case of rectangular prisms, is either going to be a square or a rectangle. So it's always going to be length times width times height this year. Next year, again, it will change. And then, of course, don't forget the units. I have to take off points if you forget the units, so don't do that. So here we go. You will have two. Sorry, I meant to put a exclamation mark. You'll have a 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You will not do 7. Then on the back, I want you to do 1, 2, 4, and 6. And then very quickly, I'm just going to do this one with you. It says Chloe has 20 unit cubes. How many different rectangular prisms can she build with that many cubes? So remember, this is when we use the factor rainbow to help guide us and give us some ideas on how to make a rectangular prism with only 20 cubes. We can do 1 times 20. What else? 2 times 10 makes 20. You could do, does 3 times something equal 20? No. Does 4 times something equal 20? Yes. So 4 times 5. So here's some examples. So I'm just going to give some examples. We're not going to write every single one of these. So the first thing that you could do a 5 times 1. But remember, a rectangular prism needs to be 3 dimensions. So you could have said by 1 again. Next, you could have said 10 by 2 by 1. Then a 5 by 4 by 1. And then also you could separate out 4 by doing 2 times 2 and then times 5. So that was another one that you could have done as well. All right, so I'm just giving you some examples. So that is it for 11-9. All right, guys, I will see you later.